Welcome to the Virginia Department of Transportation's online illicit discharge training. Whether you're a VDOT employee, a contractor, or consultant working with VDOT, you have a role in protecting Virginia's streams and rivers from harmful pollutants. Pollutants, when mixed with stormwater, can sometimes be referred to as illicit discharge. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, defines an illicit discharge as any discharge to a municipal separate storm sewer system, or MS4, that is not entirely composed of stormwater. VDOT's MS4 includes VDOT-maintained drop inlets, curb inlets, ditches and swales, and stormwater ponds located in more populated areas, also known as census urban areas. When a pollutant enters any part of VDOT's MS4 in these urban areas, it is considered an illicit discharge by the EPA. If you're unsure whether or not your location is in a census urban area, ask your supervisor. This short video is based on the VDOT Illicit Discharge Detection and Evaluation Field Guide and Program Manual found on the MS4 program website at this address. This training will prepare you with ways to help by providing examples of illicit discharges, characteristics to identify illicit discharges, and how to document and report an illicit discharge if encountered. Common illicit discharges include oil in the form of gasoline, diesel, motor oil, and cooking oil or grease, paint, plaster, and concrete washout, sediment from land-disturbing activities, gray wastewater from showers, dishwashers, and washing machines, septic or sewer wastewater, and commercial or industrial car wash water. Here are some simple indicators of illicit discharges to look for when working in VDOT's right-of-way. Unnaturally colored water is a good indicator of an illicit discharge. White, milky, or gray water can be associated with an illicit sewer discharge, while bright colors such as blue and pink may indicate a discharge of paints, dyes, or other chemicals. Staining around drop inlets and in ditches, or those that do not follow a normal flow path and appear to come from a source other than runoff, can indicate an illicit discharge has occurred. A suspicious odor may warn of an illicit discharge before you can see it. Sulfur or rotten egg smells can indicate a sewer discharge, while chlorine and floral smells can indicate cleaners and other chemicals. Foam can also indicate an illicit discharge. While many instances of foam are completely natural, foam that is bright white and scented may indicate a man-made illicit discharge, such as soap or detergent. One of the most common things you might see is an orange film or oily sheen on water. Although the appearance of an orange film and an oily sheen may result from naturally occurring bacteria, it can also be evidence of oil contamination. A good check is to disturb the sheen with a stick. If the sheen breaks into jagged clumps, it's likely to be a natural phenomenon. But if it swirls, separates, and reforms, it's possible oil is present in the water. If you are unsure if a film or sheen is an illicit discharge, it's best to report it to your supervisor or the VDOT Illicit Discharge team. Common sources of illicit discharges include illegal dumping, illegal connections to the storm sewer system, such as taps from sanitary sewer lines, or pipes running gray water from washing machines or sinks directly to a roadside ditch. If you see an unusual pipe connection to the stormwater system, it should be reported. Damaged sewer lines or failing septic systems, sediment from construction sites or equipment, or discharge from businesses or private citizens. Not all non-stormwater discharges to the stormwater system are considered illicit discharges. Some activities that are not considered illicit discharges include firefighting activities, water line flushing, irrigation and lawn watering, street washing, residential car washing, basement or crawl space sump pumps, and dechlorinated swimming pool discharges. When investigating a potential illicit discharge, always follow VDOT safety guidance. Do not enter private property. Do not enter confined spaces, such as manholes or culverts. Gases or other vapors may be present and can overcome someone who enters. If your investigation leads you to a container, do not open it. Instead, notify your supervisor or the VDOT Regional Hazmat Manager for assistance. Here are some tips on investigating illicit discharges. Inspect the area around the suspected discharge and determine what direction stormwater would naturally travel. Identify the point of entry by tracking the discharge to where it entered the VDOT right-of-way. Track the discharge downstream to determine how large of an area has been affected. Note if the discharge appears to have entered a stream, pond, or wetland. When you come across a potential illicit discharge, take good photos and note details such as: take down a description of the discharge. Note visible structure numbers if applicable, distances, directions, and addresses. Date and time when the discharge was discovered, and how large of an area the discharge affects. Once you've gathered all of the relevant information, notify your supervisor or VDOT contact for further evaluation by the illicit discharge team. All illicit discharge reports should be forwarded to IDDE reports at vdot.virginia.gov for tracking and record keeping. The same email address can be used to contact the VDOT illicit discharge team with questions or for assistance regarding potential illicit discharges. Thank you for participating in VDOT's illicit discharge training. For more information, please refer to the VDOT Illicit Discharge Detection and Evaluation Field Guide and Program Manual, found on virginiadot.org/stormwater. If you have any other questions or need to report an illicit discharge, please email IDDE reports at vdot.virginia.gov.